Any advice for young women entering cybersecurity who feel intimidated by the dominance of male leadership? Whenever you spoke to someone or sitting with any age group, so everyone is talking about the AI. AI is this and that. AI is going to impact. What do you think? How it is going to impact your work?
AI is simplifying things also. It's automating things. It's, automating the dashboards, the control checks, the audits or the risks, everything. Getting simplified also, but it's also creating new risks.
Being a married woman working in this environment, so how do you manage the everything? Kids, family, and a lot of things you have to manage.
Yes,
And
yes.
GRC as well.
Women are, I would say, gifted with multitasking. They are more flexible, or rather, evolution has happened accordingly. They are habitual of taking care of five things in parallel. Men think maybe in one direction and
Yes,
focused in one direction
one
better.
direction. Whenever you're taking the interviews or you have been going through that process, so what is the biggest red flag you want to share with the audience, like, boss, please don't do this?
One is don't fill your CVs with just with the certifications and not having the skills. People not being closer to the technology itself, what they're trying to secure, or the industry is a red flag.
Welcome back to our another episode from the Bangalore podcast series, and today I have Shipra in front of me. So Shipra, welcome to the
Thank you.
podcast.
Thank you so much, Nitin, for having me.
That's great. That's really, I'm very happy to have you on board today. So, Shipra, I want to know more about you. My audience wants to know who exactly is this Shipra. In your words.
Okay, so Shipra, I'll say that I am nobody was somebody still trying to figure out into the field of cybersecurity or the information security, you can say. I started 15 years back as a SOC analyst sitting behind those tools, monitoring the logs, day to day, looking through the packets, the network packets and everything, firewalls and things. And slowly from there, I built my interest into okay, let's go towards the risk. So any incident happened that time, it used to be like, just resolving the incident for me. It used to be like, what is the risk from this incident? What if it's the incident grows up, or it elevates the, so what's going to be the risk? From there I built my interest into risk and compliance
Okay.
as well. Yeah, so that's when I moved to the governance, risk and compliance. And right now I've been consulting multiple organizations, multiple clients into the core of the governance, risk and compliance, and the resilience as well. So that's now where I am trying to figure my way still.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. So, basically, you're managing the GRC, governance, risk, and
Yes.
compliance. And I think it is something, whenever I spoke to someone, it is one of the demanding domain nowadays. In the under
It
the
is.
umbrella of this the cyber security. Actually,
Yes.
we usually had this conversation in the podcast for others, for my viewers. Basically, those are new to the market. For them, cybersecurity is someone hacking in front of the black screen
Oh,
in the
yeah.
CLI. For them, cybersecurity is to hack just to do CH and all. But yeah, of course, we have the people like Shipra, and they are taking care of a lot of things, the governance, risk, and compliance, and which plays an important role. I just want to ask something which is not related to this, but being a woman, being a very married woman, I think I'm just taking a thing like that. That I think that was a very suitable profile, because I think women are very perfect in the governance, risk, and compliance. I'm taking my example because I'm a married guy. So if I'm doing something, my wife can easily predict, okay, they are doing this thing, this is the risk, and you should follow this compliance. And governance is, of course, after all, she's a wife.
Well,
So how much
very.
you agree on it being a woman working in a right profile or what? I want you to prove me
Uh,
wrong. Yeah, but
Yes. So generally, people do relate that GRC or the governance, risk and compliance is about auditing or just about risk, and they also call it like easy for women. The easy to get into, or it's more about limited to finding the faults, but it's way beyond as well. It's more about reflecting the right kind of risks. And when we say risk, you'll see very few people talking about positive risks also. So there are like, being a risk consultant, it's not just finding the negative things or the loopholes
Yes.
into the system. It's also about finding the positive risks, helping with the risk-based approach to everything. So yes, in a way, you can say that, there are more women, I would say, in this stream or in this profession, but it is irrespective of whether,
Anyone.
yeah.
I know.
And one notation people also have is like, when they hear the word GRC, they immediately, one thing clicks is like, oh, it means auditing. That like
Right.
GRC is all about auditing or just conducting the audit, finding the faults, giving a report. But GRC is way more than
Way more
that.
than-
It's like telling your board, the board of directors, on what should be your strategy, and designing their strategies with a risk-based approach, and ensuring that they meet their business goals, but then they take care of, but they are not into like falling into the penalties or the risk gaps, for that matter, the failures on that side also. So it's a very strategic stream, it's a very strategic function, you would say that, and it is not something that works into silos, definitely. Any technology evolves, GRC evolves. It could be like, if you are into one kind of development, one coding, your technology evolves, you need to evolve. But for GRC people, anything evolves, it
It evolves.
ultimately comes to GRC.
I think it is
people.
everywhere. Everywhere we
Yes.
require the GRC. If I'm driving a car, if I'm moving from one place to another, I think GRC plays an important role at every place. It
Yeah.
will give
You
you the
took-
better understanding.
You took the example of car, like how the GPS system ultimately works, and now with the EVs, like it's all, or with the automated,
Yes.
automatic cars also. Now it's all running on the systems. One small glitch is a risk of life,
Risk of life.
and not only for the people who are driving, but if anybody who's on the road as well. So
Yes.
ultimately it boils down to those small systems and the security of those systems,
Yes.
and the data and everything. So yeah, GRC is not a standalone function, or not just about auditing. GRC is a strategy. It's about a strategic thinking, or the way of leadership as well.
That's pretty cool, because if I'm driving an automatic car and it is all operated in the internet, and someone hack and immediately applied the brakes, and I'm driving 100 and a plus speed, so that could be a fatal accident, and
It
immediately.
could be, and moreover, it could be like, a small glitch into the system, just as like, an object. If you imagine in India, the automatic cars, the self-driven cars in India, your system needs to detect every small object that could be like suddenly coming on the roads as well. So yeah, so all those systems, and on the back end, they are ultimately the IT OT systems only.
OT in cybersecurity. So that's related to the OT in
Yes.
cybersecurity. Okay. So I'm going to give it a very smooth start. Like say someone is watching us, any of my viewers, they could be a fresher, or someone is already working in network security, or somewhere in cyber, like SOC mein ho sakte hain, or somewhere else. Now they want to know, being a man and a woman, let's forget about it, despite any gender. So now they wants to know, ma'am, Shipra, like how should I start into the GRC? I heard and I like the concept of GRC. कि ठीक है यार, मजा आएगा, governance, risk and compliance. तो वो they want to know कि कैसे start किया. तो what's Shipra's approach
First,
on it?
first of all, I would like to know what is the motive of going into GRC. If they think that I want to go into GRC because it's simpler, they are wrong at many levels. GRC is not for the weak-hearted people. I would say, yeah. So if you want to start into the GRC, so don't jump onto the frameworks, the regulations, and the checklists, and just thinking like, I have a control, I have an evidence, I map it to that, and I'm done, I'm good at excelling the GRC. You want to test the network controls, you need to understand network. You want to run an application assessment, you need to understand what kind of applications, what are the different layers of the infrastructure of the application as well. What is the difference into the business side of applications versus the IT side of applications as well. Or you want to go for maybe a data security, you need to understand the data flows, the types of data, how the data, what are the data entry points. So it's all still technical. It's not that GRC means something non-technical. So you need to understand the very basics of it, how the systems function. Then only you can find how the systems might fail, or they what are the loopholes, or what could be the risks and the impacts if anything goes wrong, or if because threats are going to be always there. You cannot build a perfect world where the threats are not there. Threats are going to be there. It's just that whether you have those loopholes in your system that threats can come, and what could be the impact of that, what could be the risk, and does that risk really matters to me, what is my appetite of that. Like, you do a simple UPI, you connect your UPI to your, maybe you'll not connect it to your salary account. That's not your risk appetite. At least I don't. So what you will do is, you will maybe create an account, put maybe 20,000 a month or 10,000 a month into that account, link UPI to that, because that is your risk appetite, and anything goes wrong with that, that is what you can really take.
Yes.
So that kind of thinking, the thought process you need to build into this. So anybody who's going to start in GRC, I would say that if you have that analytical skills, if you have, if you're ready to learn every day, it's like in cyber, it's ever evolving function. So you need to learn every day, every new technology. Like I said, today cloud makes a change, you need to learn, for what could be the resulting risks of that. AI, for that matter, like with AI makes the things simpler, but it makes things complex as well.
Yes.
For you. So yeah, so coming to GRC is again the motive, and if you're ready to learn regularly, and if you have that kind of acumen for deep analysis, and converting you have to be on both sides of it, technical, non-technical, because
Yes.
you're sitting with your board, you cannot tell them that your one server has this loophole, and is going to, why does it matter to me? You need to convert it into the business language. You need to tell the risk, like, this is going to attract the financial risk, this is going to attract the health and safety. If in oil and gas a pipeline fails, like, what is going to be the exact risk out of that? So yeah, GRC is that where you need to really understand things from multifunctional stuff.
Virtual army for the companies, GRC people, like they are managing so many things, they are protecting them from so many complications.
Yes, that is. And also bringing together a lot of people who otherwise are working into silos. Like
Yes.
network guys working on the network, application guys doing their coding, developing, and then the database people, they are, having their own, the backup people are running their own systems. And then, so the red teams, purple teams, the blue teams, all working into their own world, and, with those hacker hats as well. So there has to be a strategic function to tie them together, to bring them together, to, I would say, to structure a story around that, and to build that story for the company leaders or for the business people. And that is what GRC does.
So, if I may ask a very basic thing, like if you're hiring someone into the GRC, so what background you will look into that? Like, kiska background kaisa hona chahiye? Matlab, what is your favorite choice? Ki if that person having that background, I really love to hire them.
I would say that somebody who has at least worked on the technology side as well, like who understands the networks. I'll rather not ask for, whether you have done ISO 27001. I would rather ask, in ISO 27001, if you have to be, like, tell me the 5 network controls or network security. If you have to implement, how would you implement the network security at 5 different layers? So that will be the part that I would look into. I will not look into, like, have you done 5 assessments versus 10 assessments, or how many reports have you written. That's definitely one part of it, but I would understand if the person can convert a technical thing into the business language, and then also whether they understand the technology or not. So that really matters. So ultimately, it boils down to the network, the applications, the systems, the servers, all of that.
Great. Actually, this is what I was, discussing into my seminars and webinars was थोड़ा सा नेटवर्क पढ़ लो यार, थोड़ा बेस बना लो अपना. और
Of
मैंने एक
course.
प्रोग्राम भी इसी तरीके से बना रखा है कि आप आओ, लेट्स हेल्प यू टू गेट इनटू द नेटवर्क सिक्योरिटी. फिर उसके बाद जाओ ना, आप कहीं भी जाओ साइबर सिक्योरिटी में, यू विल गेट बेनिफिट ऑफ दैट.
Yes, and nowadays, especially with cloud and lot of virtualization and SaaS, and now with AI also, I would say that I think those days was better when we used to sit in the data center, when we used to actually see if a switch fails, what exactly happens. If a port is opened or closed, like wrongly, what happens, what mess happens, those midnight chaos that happens because of those one single system failures. So those things, I think, they shape you better to be a leader into the cybersecurity rather than directly coming and designing these strategies or imagining that I'll build the strategy of the organization with like heavy jargon words and all. So yeah, go to the core.
Yes. Where are you basically from and how you are into the Bangalore? You are not basically from Bangalore, of course.
Yes. So basically, I come from Punjab.
Acha.
Okay. So very inner parts of Punjab, near Sangrur. So right now, my family is into Panchkula. That's
Acha.
like we have
Extended
NCR in Delhi.
Chandigarh.
Yes, that's why like NCR has
Of-
this Delhi, Noida, Gurgaon. So it's like Noida and Gurgaon of
Yes.
Chandigarh.
Panchkula, very
So-
beautiful place, Panchkula.
Yes, it is. Definitely close to the hills. And
Close
all,
to the
yeah.
hills. This is the best part of Panchkula as compared to the Mohali. Yeah?
I will not do the city comparison, but Panchkula versus Mohali, it's a cultural difference also. One coming from Punjab, one coming from Haryana, and Chandigarh blending both of them together. So the similar kind of difference we see in Noida versus Gurgaon.
Yes.
So that is what Mohali and Panchkula you see, and the way and the time span that city is developed into. So Mohali is little older and slowly developed from the with an influence from Punjab, and Panchkula is more influenced by Chandigarh and then developed. So so still some areas getting developed. So like that, and then I have spent early years, most of my career into NCR, in Noida, in Gurgaon, and then 2 years back only we moved to Bangalore.
Oh.
Yeah.
So how's
So-
Bangalore?
Oh, Bangalore is great, where the traffic is well known, but otherwise everything is good. The opportunities, the mindset, I would say the weather, no questions about that. Yeah, so Bangalore is great. So far, so good, and I'm really loving it. Loving the
That's
vibe
good.
of the Bangalore.
Bangalore. Great. So you have spent over a decade building a solid career into the cybersecurity and governance. If you were starting today in 2025, I'm talking about. So how would you go about it differently?
Okay, so one thing I would say that I would maybe spend more time in that, like I told you, the data center. I'll spend more time into the networks, the data, the applications, and infrastructure part of it before maybe moving to the GRC. And but one thing that I would not change is being closer to the manual work.
Okay.
Like today we have a number of tools doing things for you. Tools are giving you everything, but I would still one thing that if I start today also, I would still want that to write those things manually, to build those processes manually, to develop those procedures, to design the controls manually. So that manual work really helps you, and this is one thing that I think is somewhere taking a hit today. That not very new people, you'll see them designing these strategies, but then they're not able to do the manual work as good as with the help of tools they're able to.
Great.
So I would still say that that manual work still helps.
Right. Now, next, I want you to help my audience to understand, like, cybersecurity is not just about hacking.
Oh, absolutely.
So, like, what mindset shift is needed to understand roles like your governance and compliance and risk? A short answer of it.
Yes, yes. So when we say cybersecurity is all about hacking it, just like doctors means surgery or education means exams. So, but in a way, it shapes up. The education is not only about passing the exam end of the year. It's all about what you learn for your life, how you build your perspective, your viewpoints as well, according to that. So it's the same into the cybersecurity also. It's not about breaking or saving the system. It's not just about hacking. It's way more as well. And most of the breaches even happening. Many breaches don't have the fancy hackers stunts, on back of it. It could be small loopholes. It could be small gaps, or might be just the employees, the insider threats that you might have. So the insider risks that you could have. So when we say cybersecurity, you need to understand that it's a very vast, and I do not say that you will be an expert of the cybersecurity. You can do everything. Nobody can do everything, but whatever you build into, at least understand the 10 other things also, and don't just think about hacking versus saving from the hacking. So it's not just about hacking, it's way more. It's about building a sustainable shield for your systems. That's strategically also, in the long run also, it's not like one vulnerability versus one patch. That one day at a time, life doesn't work into cyber strategy. So you need to have that long time vision about the sustainable systems also in cybersecurity.
Correct. So when we're talking about the compliance and also, I want your side of story. Now India is also developing, the new, the DP. So what's your take on it like?
Well, I would say India is one of the largest digital markets with like billions of people, and you can imagine the volume of data flowing in the air. So India, definitely, it was a much needed act or the regulation, you can say, for the data privacy, for the personal data protection and the privacy of the large people that you have. But it is still, it will be evolving. There will be new amendments, the new rules coming onto it, but it was very much needed at this moment, and this has really shaped and put India into that global market for the data privacy part, data protection. And one great thing is that it's for all the industries, for all the organizations. It does not have many ifs and buts. That's what I really like about the DPDP Act. That it says that you have to take a consent. There are no ifs and buts. Your organization is working into India, collecting the data or processing the data of Indians. So you have to be, it's not about an exemption for this and that, other than the state-run agencies, definitely. But so that's one straightforward, not many caveats to it. So that's one good thing. And but for India still, for data privacy, what thing is needed is really the people awareness about their data also.
Right.
Like the food delivery apps, the small business apps, the small. Even I was amazed a couple of days back. I was trying to register my daughter for one of the community drawing events. And you won't imagine, they were when I tried to register, they were asking for parents' date of birth and the PAN and everything onto that form. I was like, really? Why do you need that data? And so that awareness of the people is also needed, where to share the information and where not to.
Exactly.
Today, you'll say that for a small cashback or for a coupon, people share their data, and those are the catches. Organizations, or I'll rather not even say organizations, but those people behind them, they have. So yeah, data protection in India is definitely shaping up. People also need to grow with that.
Need to grow with that. India, especially. That's, I really agree with you. Indeed, I was with my daughter in a mall, and she was playing. She just wants to go for adventurous some activities going on, and they asked me to pay some amount, and I said okay chalo theek hai, we just let her enter. They said no you have to fill the form. Okay, I said chalo theek hai do, and start filling. And they're asking about the school and about the others details, the space you people stay, and a lot of information. I said it is not a form, ये तो registration है. It's like it's quite different. You're taking so much of information that can
Yes.
be used in any way. आप तो मेरे अभी मैं I'm standing here, you will understand how much is my purchase power. In a second you will understand. So this is a very powerful data that you are asking me. The information he was taking, basically we are the people coming from the cyber world. So easily समझ में आता है कि what exactly they are trying with the data. Data you will understand how powerful it is. It is very open, and I don't think so anyone was asking this question in front of them.
Yeah, and
कि why are you taking this information? I did not give. I simply refused. मैंने कहा
maybe
this
even
is
the people sitting there, you ask them the question, they'll be like, sir, this is just required. I don't know, you know. And moreover, how many of people, like, we are using nowadays, I think hardly other than the work, we are not really on the laptops also. We are getting everything on the phone. And on the phone, you open any website, anything, even a new web page, there's always a dialog box coming, they'll pop up for the cookies. And I've seen like kids to grown-ups to professionals just accept all cookies just to get rid of that pop up on the screen. How many of people even know like what these cookies mean, and where are you sharing your data, or why are you, when you're accepting all cookies, what it means? It's just not for the time you stay on that website or the page, it's beyond that also.
True.
So yeah, that awareness definitely.
So do you think we can implement this DPDP Act, which is going to be happen digital, like the personal data, the digital personal information, which they are going to talk about? So do we have that system? We can manage this thing in a way, like they have in the outer world. We have HIPAA, we have different type of the acts, the compliances. And India has a standardized, as you said, it's a standardized system for all the sectors. Matlab, why I'm asking this thing, because there's a different sector, like say, let's talk about this studio or something like that. I don't know how much they are aware about this data and working on this compliance. कि यार मुझे क्या information लेनी है, कितने time तक रखनी है. Isn't it require a good amount of time to make them understand what exactly it is?
I would say I'll give you a couple of examples. If Aadhaar card can be implemented digitally, if UPI can reach each and every person, if FASTag can be implemented so quickly, or for that matter, the chips into the number plates of the vehicles, and if those things can penetrate right to every individual of India, why cannot this penetrate into? So digital India means this thing. So this, we cannot say that because it's India or because we have those some perceptions as well built across the countries or the communities as well here. I wouldn't say that it because it's in India it's gonna take time or it should take time. It ultimately boils down to what is your motivation of doing that, what is the purpose, and how serious is the administration on that. Everything can be implemented in in COVID, like all that pass to step out. So those things implemented really quickly. So they can bring those systems really quickly. So yeah, I would not say that because it's India, it will take time.
That's
India
why I'm asking.
has the capabilities.
India has the capabilities, but what I have seen, it's not just about the compliance on the data protection. When you took a office, or what I have just come to know, that there's some permission from the fire department and all. I don't know how many buildings or commercial places in India followed all these compliances. And the best example we can see from the recent news from the Dubai, Puri building was burned out, but no casualties happened because they are following all the norms. उनकी compliance पूरा satisfy कर रहे थे that the fire exit and everything was there. तो एक single casualty नहीं थी. That's why I'm asking कि DPDP Act whatever it is going to launch, मतलब are we ready? आपको लगता है कि हम तैयार हैं उसके लिए to accept, या उसके लिए भी हम कुछ तरीका ढूंढ लेंगे कि get the acknowledgement?
Tariqa or the jugaad is the ultimate thing in India, but still I would say a strong, because ultimately even if you are a startup, your organization coming to India, nobody wants to attract a penalty of 250 crores.
This is
So how strict the administration is about, how the jurisdiction system, the legislations, how good they are at implementing things, that drives a lot of things. But definitely, the organizations, they want to work into, at least they don't want to look bad for these things. Business failures happen, but at least you don't want to be part of some breaches, particularly, and losing the trust of the customers, because India, again, the customer base is huge when you operate in
You're right.
India. Yeah. So I would say that yes, organizations are adapting, will keep on adapting. And it's not something that if any other countries can implement, India cannot. And especially when India has implemented so many digital drives already.
India has implemented, but whenever we implemented, I think, we takes time to understand the exact flow. अभी जैसे for example UPI का, now they make it mandatory to whenever you scan or something, so it will show you the name which is mandatory now. अब आपको नाम दिखेगा.
Yes.
It can be done before as well if someone has followed the compliance, या पहले अगर हमने risk ये देखा होता है, इसके ऊपर risk analysis किए होते.
That's how things evolve also. You bring, I would say, you bring a draft, then you see the problems into the real time, and that's how your and that's why I say, like, you go with that agility also. You implemented something, be flexible, be agile to evolve as well. So you will see the risks, and no testing can be done, like, to meet this much of client base or customer base, like an economy in India. So yeah, definitely issues will happen. The act or the exhibits will evolve. The best example you can take is RBI. A small risk, you say, RBI launches, they are just like, a new exhibit coming into there.
Yes.
And they don't give you a good amount of time, like, take your time, whenever you are ready, you implement. They're like, I said today,
It is
start doing
implemented.
it. Yeah.
So now no
They keep
international.
banks on their
Yes,
toes.
they keep. Now the no more 5,000 automatically deduction would happen. Once they implemented game over.
Yeah.
Now businesses has to find their own ways. कि भैया कैसे करना? If you are spending a good amount for like auto deduction, so you have to find your own ways. RBI
Yes.
was clear. 5,000 is the sum that you can maximum deduct in a time.
Exactly.
So that is, yes, how RBI works. That's a lot of to talk about on the compliance and all the risk. And you're the person with whom we can discuss all these things. So let's moving to the another question. Like, any advice for young women entering cybersecurity who feel intimidated by the dominance of male leadership? ऐसा बहुत चल रहा है ना? This is in the hype कि यार male leadership है and all.
Well, right now there are, I would say that entering into any field for that matter, not just the cybersecurity, this has been a norm that sometimes women-minded find it tough, or even there's something called prove it twice. That first you have to prove yourself to sit on that table, and then you have to prove your worth on that table to stay on that table. So but I would say that irrespective of, like, you have many companies, organizations, they also have their equal opportunities, the diversity policies, and so they are also evolving, they're also coming up with that. But I would say that no need of being intimidated as such by the male leadership, or by, for that matter, any sort of leadership, but rather when you bring logic and facts to your ideas, definitely your ideas are heard. So I would only say that bring your ideas forward, but bring it in a way that they want, if you want them to be heard, bring the ideas along with the logic, along with whys and whats and whens, answer some questions to yourself before that, what could be the expected questions. So with that, and it's also in cybersecurity also, generally they say it's not an easy field for women. The SOC 24/7 monitoring, as soon as people hear SOC, it's like 24/7 monitoring. I spent my starting career into SOC itself.
Acha.
Monitoring, yeah. So I was into SOC, into that 24/7 team structure only. And so it's up to you as well, a lot, and the kind of opportunities they get. Definitely there has to be more flexibility in the organizations also. Some, I would say, tweaks or adjustments are required. But now, if you say even the startups or the established companies, they have it. But maybe the smaller companies or the very fresh people, like a team of very few people, they also need to think on that. And yeah, so it's not just about women starting, it's also about women at every level that they need to be confident and they need
Yes,
to.
true. But I have seen a pattern nowadays in the companies. The companies itself, especially now I'm talking about the some international brands. They really emphasize. They really work hard. The women's to upgrade and reach out to the leadership roles. What do you think? Why it is happening?
Because one is, I mean, just because of the gender, you cannot say, because if somebody is performing consistently, if somebody has great ideas, why not to put them forward? There used to be times when there are 5 women in the team putting the ideas forward, doing the regular stuff, BAU, but there is a male going and representing that team.
Yes.
Now that norm is changing, that if a team of women is working, one of them will represent,
Right.
to the bigger stage. So yeah, and looking women at the leadership again motivates the people, the women coming, starting their career as well. And in general as well, the women empowerment in general also has really helped shaping this up, being creating a safe environment. And on that also, like the policies, how the organizations or the company's culture is shaping up, or the policies coming on to for the safety of the women also. So definitely that is changing with time. And now we see like leadership. I work with an organization where it's led by a lady.
Yeah, exactly. It's led by the lady.
Yes, and so yeah, women are doing great. They are doing great things into the company.
So as you said that you worked into the SOC, so one more question, comes to my mind. Being a working woman, having, and married, being a married woman, working in this environment. So how do you manage the everything? Kids, family, and a lot of things you have to manage.
Yes,
And
yes.
GRC as well.
I do have, like, I'm married 7 years back. I do have a kid. I do have family, and and it's not taking a toll on my. I wouldn't say that every day is same.
Yes.
Okay, for a woman and a man. So, but if in your personal life also there's a balance with your partner as well, that really helps you. Like if I am into something, if I am having a tough day, and your spouse is able to, or your partner is able to take it up easy for that day, that really supports. And there is one, I don't know, there's one perception as well, like women, as small as having a business travel, the first thing asked to the women is like, how will your kid manage? A man is traveling, they don't ask how will your kid manage. So, but I would say that I'm lucky in that ways that my partner has been really supportive, and he is never questioning how will the kid manage. He knows, okay, she's to travel, which means I need to step up, and or in fact, I would say that he's already there. That okay, for a couple of days, I will be the one taking care of things. So yeah, and but this is not something that happens in a day. If your day to day looks like that, quite balanced, then definitely tough days are also become easy.
Easy, yes.
Yes. So, and women are, I would say, gifted with multitasking. That is one thing. They are gifted with, they are more flexible, or rather, the evolution has happened accordingly. That they are habitual of taking care of 5 things at in parallel. Men think maybe in one direction and
Yes.
focused in one direction
One
better.
direction.
Yeah, so it's like, but again, nowadays, I'm lucky to be in India for that matter. I would say I have a huge support system.
Yeah, that is the best part of India.
And that's why, many a times this thought even crossed our minds. Shall we move outside? Shall we look, for the western part of the world? But then I was like, the support system that we get here,
You will not get
I'll
outside.
not afford to lose that.
Saturday, Sunday, you are, yourself, you are a caretaker, you are taking care of
Yeah,
so
your
many
kid
things.
has a nanny, you have house helps helping
Yes.
you. So that economy itself is driving together.
To make it possible to for feasibility life, huh? Feasible
Yes.
the life balance. That's true. But I don't know, like women's are really good in managing the things. Like even though I tried my level best to help my wife, like in so many things, like feeding my kid. And trust me, I can manage 100 people in a day or like 200 people in a day. I can manage 1,000 people in the counseling sessions, and I have managed. But it is somewhere like when I have to feed my kid, it's it's something that is, I can say, it's not an easy task. I do respect my wife and the women's as well. Like they do so many things that I think it is beyond to our capabilities. And I give her call, अच्छा चलो look at the cartoons देख लो या फिर use this technique or just use that technique. I tried every technique, but when she came back from the office and she just take that ball, same spoon, and she start feeding, okay, this and that. I was like, "यार, this is incredible."
That could be also the kid is maybe a kid is too much used to being fed by the mother,
Yes.
and so kids have this thing, a small change also could, they could be throwing, like, it could be a big change for them, or taking a toll on their acceptance of those changes. So yeah, with kids it happens that how your day to day looks like, again shapes up your children, your kids. So like my daughter is used to seeing, his her father doing a lot of stuff like feeding or taking care of some things. I deliberately don't do for my daughter.
Okay.
My husband is like too much into, she's not having, her water intake is very less, what her fiber, he's a health freak also, so he's like, what is the protein she had today, what is the fiber, she's having all junk. So I'll sometimes take a step back over there and I let
Go ahead.
him lead there, and I'm like, okay, you go for it, then so that she has that bond with him as well,
Yes.
that
Right.
okay, if my dad gives me a coconut water daily, so
Okay.
that change, maybe she'll not accept it from me now,
Right.
or my dad gives me this fixed 5 to 7 p.m. of time when my mom is like heavy on the calls. I lock my room. I'll be like, now you have to, tackle her whatever the way. So that way is it's the balance that
The
works both
balance works
ways.
with the
Yeah.
partner, with the right partner, I think. That's
Yes.
how the women can be a leader, a good leader, with a good partner. That sound good. So let's coming back to the GRC and all. So now the next question is coming. You already spend a good time, and so whenever you spoke to someone or setting with any age group, so everyone is talking about the AI, right? AI is this and that. AI is going to impact. What do you think? How it is going to impact your work?
So in GRC, I would say it's going to be both ways. So AI is simplifying things also. It's automating things. It's automating the dashboards, the control checks, the audits or the risks. Everything getting simplified also. But it's also creating new risks. It's also creating new opportunities. Like for a GRC people now, it's even more important to understand what is model drift, how the models are trained, how the data is being fed into that, what kind of data is being used for that, and what are the new AI related risks, and what kind of shadow AI organizations are creating just to get one final model to the production. A lot of shadow AI also sits, and those shadow models also have the data fed into that. So the data lineage and privacy and all of that. So for GRC perspective, I would say that it is simplifying the older things and bringing the new complexities to it.
Get ready.
Yeah. So like what you used to do 5 years back, that's I'll take care. I'll have new things for you to focus on too. That's what AI is doing
Yes.
to GRC also, or the cybersecurity as well. So no similar breaches or the, I would say, the loopholes that used to be big deal 5 years back. That's all taken care of. Now it's because the it's not just the security part of it evolving. The it's, and you cannot assume that AI is being used responsibly everywhere.
Yeah.
So even for that matter, the hackers or the red people are also using the AI. So you need to stay ahead of the game, and for that you need to evolve with it. You cannot deny. You cannot. I've still seen some people in denial mode of AI. That maybe it is something that will go away. So it is going to be the new normal. It is going to be the new way of working for the technology. So better adapt, tame the AI, and lead over it.
Learn, think, and understand and grow. Like this should be the process.
Yes.
Amazing. So like whenever you're taking the interviews or you have been going through that process, so what is the biggest red flag you want to share with the audience? Like, boss, please don't do this.
One is don't fill your CVs with just with the certifications and not having the skills, And this thing somehow has taken, a new direction in cybersecurity. Cybersecurity, they keep those batches on their shoulders of these, CISSPs, CISSPs.
Yes,
Yeah. So so don't be certifications heavy, but be skills heavy. And also one thing I would say that for whatever amount of time in your career, be into consulting. Talk to consultants, be into consulting, work with different organizations, understand how, because how retail works is not same as how oil and gas works versus how pharma or a bank works. Okay, so for GRC or for that matter cybersecurity, you need to understand that what is that threat of that industry
yes.
specifically. So yeah, it's not that you learn into one thing and you're coming for the interview. You read the JDs are pretty. You will see that in cybersecurity, the JDs. If I summarize all of the JDs, I can maybe summarize them in 30-40 lines. But then itself, it's not like just changing your CV according to the JD helps you. When you get into the interview, you face the real scenarios. So you really build those skills and be clear on what aspect of it, what function you really want to work into, and do not go for like 50. Don't try to focus on the 50 jobs in the market that are open. Try to find your expertise
Yes.
and work onto that. And the red flags I generally see is like, especially for the GRC, if I say, people think ISO 27001 or for that matter NIST, read the controls. It's all about what they will ask me, how many controls are there, okay, how many assessments or how many audits they have done. It's not about that. You will see like people failing, and when you ask a simple question about like tell me the 5 things you'll configure on a firewall to make it secure. They'll be like, firewall rule sets and all that. And I'm like, 4 more things. And no. So those configurational things. So that people not being closer to the technology itself, what they're trying to secure, or the industry is a red flag that I definitely see.
Great. So now with the 10 years of experience, the biggest learning throughout the journey that no one had told you at that time, now you want to share with the others?
One biggest learning from my journey, I would say that be ready for the change. In fact, I would tell you one story from early of my career. I switched from one organization to another organization, and I was thrown into the face with, one new expectations and everything. And I was like, okay, what do I do? I haven't done this earlier. I was coming from maybe a cocoon of working into a comfort of one organization to being into the consulting world of another organization. And then I came to a point where I was like, no, maybe I'm not meant for it. Maybe I started self-doubting myself also. Maybe I'm not meant for it. Maybe I'll quit. Maybe I'll go back. So a lot of thoughts, crossed my mind. But then, thanks to one of the mentors, I have a very few mentors for my career also. So thanks to one of my mentors, he just said one simple thing to me that if the other guy is able to do, that means it's doable. You can also do it. Figure out the way on how to learn and how to excel into that, and don't maybe throw your weapons unless you're like killed into the system. So and that really helped me grow. Like now I'm like at at a stage where I would say that I'm not giving up easily. Anything new comes up, I'll take it up. Maybe I'll fail once, maybe there will be hurdles, but I will conquer that.
You will conquer that.
Yeah, so don't be afraid of failures.
Absolutely correct. And I really enjoyed the entire conversation, Shipra, with you. And I know there's a lot to discuss yet, but yes, now it's a high time to go with the final round. That is the rapid fire round. And that answer, rapidly you have to give the answers. Shall we start now? Okay. So, what one security myth you wish people stop believing?
That security is a blocker to the business. It's not a blocker, it's an enabler to the business.
Favorite book or podcast that helps shape your, leadership?
There's a book, Dare to Lead by Brent Brown, that has really helped me. And the speciality about it, or the one thing I liked about it, makes you retrospect. It makes you question your leadership as well. Yeah,
Yes.
so that really helped.
If not cybersecurity, then what career would you pick today?
Oh, maybe I'll be a trainer or a teacher. I, in fact, started with teaching even before my corporate career. For that very short span of from college to waiting for your organization to call you for the job. So for those 7-8 months, in fact,
Acha.
I did that. My first, you won't believe, my first job, or still remember my first earning was helping a kid who came from boarding school for his vacations, helping him with the holiday homework and earning that small chunk of money.
That you're not going to forget entire
Never.
life. Yeah. What's your guilty pleasure after a stressful week in InfoSec?
Stand-up comedy. I binge watch it
Acha.
on weekends.
Great. One recent cyber incident or compliance update that blew up your mind?
I would not say just one compliance update or an incident per se, but the way Middle East is evolving into cybersecurity.
Seriously.
That's like great. They are doing like the SAMA or the the privacy acts that they're coming up, and every small industry that they're focusing into their regulations. That blows up my mind like really.
Seriously.
So Middle East is I would say the new hotspot for the cybersecurity.
Because I just have attended this JISEC happened in
wow.
the last year. So I've seen, my God, they are really into it.
Talent is that's the new magnet that's attracting the cybersecurity talent now.
True.
And like at every level, right from the analyst to the leadership to the CISOs and every like C-suite, the cybersecurity is gonna boom in Middle East.
And I think if you have a better cybersecurity team, you can grow better than anything else.
Yes.
In every sector, I think. Huh? That's amazing. That's an amazing conversation with you, Shipra, and time flew
Thank
like
you.
this. Anything like I really enjoyed the conversation. Thank you for joining us for this amazing conversation. And guys, please do not forget to like us, comment, and whatever you want to do to just follow us in a way. We should do more podcasts with the more people, and you can let us know any question you want to ask from the Shipra in the comment box. One of my team member would request Shipra to reply. Give us the reply so we can post there. So thank you
Sure,
very much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Nitin, for having me. And thank you so much for giving this space to the techies.
Most welcome.
Thank you.